You know what the tricky thing is about self-worth? I'm going to tell you. I'm Dr. Michelina. I'm a self and story analyst, and I help you analyze yourself and your story, which is to say who you are and your life for places that aren't aligned with who you actually are or the kind of life that you want to live. And the thing that's really tricky about worth is that most people get it from everything that isn't themselves, right? They get it from their looks, they get it from their status, they get it from the money they make, they get it from their relationships, they get it from everything that is not them. And I know people are going to say, well, your looks are you. Yeah. And then in 10 years, it'll look different. And in 20 years, it'll look different. And in 30 years, it'll look different, right? We're going to have a whole generation of men and women who found their worth and validation in their looks and didn't cultivate any character. And when their looks go, their worth for themselves is going to go. And a lot of times this is why people lose a job. They lose some kind of aspect of what is fundamental to their identity, and they lose their shit because they found their worth in that thing instead of who they are. And this is why I'm always trying to advocate cultivating character, right? Because I was somebody who found my worth in what I did. I found my worth in my accomplishments, my achievements, and I surrounded my identity in like my ambition and what I could accomplish. And when all that fell to shit, I was like, wow, I suck. And it took so much self-worth work, self-image work, self-esteem work for me to just see my value in who I am, right? It's like, okay, cool. I do the best I can with what I've got. Like, okay, you know? Most people don't do that. Most people don't know how to do that, which is why people have very fragile egos. It's why they put their worth in their work, and then they get very insulted if their work is seen as less than. Self-worth is super tricky because people find it in everything but themselves. And that is why they do not really like themselves. They don't really find worth in themselves. They're finding worth in all the things that they've got, all these sort of external things in their looks. And most people are somewhat lacking in character, right? This is why I always say most people are like side player characters or non-player characters. They don't know how to step into themselves and be a main character. And I see it a lot. Like if you want to hop on a connection call and I can give you a personality assessment, everybody thinks I'm the main character. And then I'm like looking at your life with you and it's like, no, you're not the main character. Too often we let other people make the decisions for us, right? Like our parents, society, our job, our money, our spouses. Like we're not making our own decisions. We're not really coming into our character, and we are not finding our self-worth in ourselves. And so what ends up happening is that people look around at their lives and they're like, wow, this is not really reflective of me. Like this isn't what I wanted. And it's like, that's because you don't know yourself. Getting to know yourself to know yourself and to love yourself is the fundamental component in getting what you want out of life. And how you see yourself and how you see your worth is a skill that most often needs to be cultivated, especially if you've internalized adversity in your life and you're functioning out of like trauma. So really finding your worth in anything that is not your character is very, very dangerous. And if you are someone who knows, hey, I might really value money, or I might really value power, or I might really value my job, or if someone asks me, hey, who am I? I say, oh, well, I'm a parent, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a firefighter, or I'm a nurse, right? You're finding your worth in your work. You're finding your worth in what you do and not who you are. And we have a whole generation of people who've done this because we were groomed basically to do it, right? We were groomed to get the A. And so if that feels like you and you do not want it and you do not like it and you want to get to know who you are and you want to step in and be the main character and like that main character and see your worth in who you are in being the main character, then I highly suggest following here for more or checking out the link in the bio.